V949 WATV, we thinking and listening. Welcome to the show. Sunday night, 7 p.m. right here on V949 WATV. It's me and it's my partner. What up, Black?
I'm in the building, y'all.
So look, this is how it happens. I was just telling Black, top of the year, almost every year that Vital has been a show in this season, this is when I start saying, hey, there's room for you. There is room for you to be a part of the Vital crew. So the Vital crew has looked different over the years. It has been
different
all the time.
Yeah, but I hate to toot my own horn, but I've always been a factor.
Like, yeah,
I'll be here.
They're hey, Claire Fontenette from Louisiana.
I like her name.
Yeah, I like that too. And she's from Louisiana, so that makes sense.
What's happening, baby?
A lot of you have responded and said that, hey, I'm Vital and I got something to say. So I want you to know that the list is being made and we will be reaching out really soon to get your buns in a seat. And the village seat is not an every Sunday obligation type of thing, but it's more so, certain topics that are coming up, certain guests, you may be good for that. So we will be hitting you up and letting you know to come on in and talk with us. Not only do we talk the talk, but from time to time, we walk the walk. We are a community-oriented show, so we don't just talk, right? It's not just about talking. We've been in the streets for a long time. We've been in the trenches with a lot of people who tune into the show and who watch the show. Shout out to Iron Boy, who just checked in. What up, LaMarcus? And so many other people who have always been a part of. Yeah, they've always been a part of. Hey, Shauna. So yeah, like tons of people. If you're here, say hello, check in, tell your friends to chime in. This is a good conversation. Every week we say something. I know we do something that you can relate to. If we're ever missing a point of view, that's where you come in. You come in with your opinion to say, well, hey, I was thinking about this. Or when you said this, it made me think about this. So that's why the phone lines are available at 994-8949. Or you can always post your thoughts and feelings in the comments. Okay. So let us know who you are, where you're watching from, where you're listening from, and let's get this show on a roll. Tonight is the first Sunday of February, Black History Month, and also Love Month, where we share about who we are, where we come from, contributions to society, our toils and strains and struggles, but also our resilience, our tenacity, our strength, our amazing ability to just be great. So that's what we're talking about all month. And then the theme for 2023 Black History Month is Black resistance. And it talks about all of the different things that we stand up and fight against. So we'll get into that a little bit later on in the show. Black, what you got going on over there?
I come with the facts, so I'm just doing a little research, just getting myself together for the factuals for our Vital show. We're always vital, so of course I got to come with the facts. I'm gonna bring opinions as well, but Black gonna bring them facts.
The researcher. So yeah, that's important. There are so many things that we could talk about in a roundabout way, but it is always important to have facts. But opinions are, we're intelligent, exposed, and empowered individuals, so we're entitled to have our opinions as well. And that's where you come in, sharing your opinion. So 994-8949 is the number, and you can get in on this conversation. An hour of power. We're gonna get straight into that. So the Black experience for us, I think it's different for each of us. Of course, it's different for each of us in some way. So we're going to share ours, and then we would love for you to chime in and call in with your Black experience. You are Black. Your name is Black. So what's being Black to you?
Being Black to me is being unapologetically who I am every day, expressing my Blackness in my fullness. I am so thankful to have the career that I've switched over to, because I can be everything that I am and not have to whitewash and water myself down.
Okay.
Being Black is dangerous, but it's fun.
I mean, okay. So it kind of speaks to that, like I said, the resilience and the tenacity.
Right. We set trends. I know people hate to say it, but I feel like everything originated with us. It comes from us. Everything.
Okay.
Dating back to history, the first person was African American or Black Native person. I feel like Mother Earth is comes from Black people.
Yeah. Okay. For me, the experience of being Black, for as much as I can make it sound really pretty, as a with every aspect of it, that wouldn't be factual for me. So I will say that I love being Black. I can't
Mhm.
imagine being anything else because I ain't never been nothing else. But I
Mm-mm.
was never somebody that wanted to be light skinned or wanted to be
Uh-uh.
mixed or wanted to have this kind of hair. I don't remember any era of life like that for me, or where I thought that I should talk this way because that's how they. No, I never had those urges to be anything or anybody different. That's just not what I had. What I do, well, the other part of being Black for me is being able to um create. Like I
Yeah.
don't it's like you said, the creative piece of being Black and knowing from whence I come and like what type of people and what type of impact we made. You can put Black in anything, it adds a different type of vibe. So
It
I get
does.
that about myself. And then the idea that any room I walk in where there isn't somebody that looks like me, which there won't be because we don't all look alike,
We
I know I
don't.
can dominate that space. So I love that about being Black. The things that I take issue with about being Black are the idea is that we won't ever be able to be the equal to those people that don't look like us. To them anyway. Like we're always having to prove ourselves and
Or
always
have
having to go the extra mile
to
and
be
that type of
even on the
thing.
same level as them. You have to be 10 times better to be looked
Yeah,
at as
like
equal.
wait a minute now. When it comes to credit, when it comes to education, when it comes to everything,
Yeah.
you it's like the expectation of going harder because you're Black. That part right there I think does give me extra fire, but it's also the part of me that's like, damn, we fighting our own battles internally Black, but then we had these other fights that we'll always fight externally Black.
Always. I think me and you were talking on the phone earlier this week, and it might have been me and you, or it might have been, I don't know who it was, but either way, I said that Black people are known to be strong, and I guess are expected to endure much more and fight much harder because we can take more pain or we can endure much more. And just because we're Black, or just because our ancestors, a lot as a whole, I won't say everybody is African because I don't want to argue with nobody, and
Right,
I'm
or
not.
American.
Right. But I will say that like Black people are expected to take a lot more and be stronger
Oh,
and not break under pressure.
everybody, it is Fly
Dave,
Dave. I'm gonna give you some
what
applause.
up, Jack?
I've been sick as I we'll talk about
We
it.
know. We we
Uh-huh.
we know.
Good to
Y'all,
see you,
Dave is
Papa.
back. We are so happy to have our brother back in the room with us. So shouts out to Dave. I was just kind of waiting to see what was gonna happen. I ain't know.
Right.
No. I wouldn't do you like that.
No, no pressure, because if you're sick, you know how that goes. But y'all really happy to have Dave back. We gonna check it out. At hair looking popping again. Yeah, we back.
Yeah.
We back.
Yo. Yo. Like the kids say, yo.
Yeah, yeah. So the Black experience, you walk right in on time, but like just thinking about, what the Black experience is, Black, what you mentioned about automatically being assumed to be strong. And, I think about the idea of Black mothers delivering babies and Black people with Black conditions like sickle cell disease. If I'm having a pain crisis, I need medication. Don't come in here and treat me like I'm
Like, oh, you
a
all right?
pain, like a pill seeker, or because I'm Black,
Right.
I can stand it. We can stand a lot, but that doesn't mean that we
That
that
we
that we should,
should.
right? So I absolutely get that
And they
that
wonder why
idea.
Black people come off aggressive because we be hurting and y'all be acting like we
Oh,
don't.
and then generations of aggression. Like
Yeah.
sometimes it's things y'all do that trigger me to go back to my ancestors and to feel a way about what you did. So I'm coming off aggressive. Now I want to fight.
Right.
Okay.
I'm choosing violence. I'm sorry.
Today.
I'm not sorry, but
Right.
whatever.
Today or in this moment, in this situation, you triggered something in me that reminded me that my ancestors were beaten. Some of my ancestors were stolen. My most recent ancestors were not afforded opportunities just because they were Black. So guess what I want to do?
Fight.
Something.
Yeah, I didn't ask to come here.
No.
Right.
We was
Nope.
chilling where we were.
We were.
Now, it's funny that y'all say that though, because some people say, no, that ain't how that went. Your own people sold y'all into slavery. You hear that.
Yeah.
Look.
What? Like, That's what that is a part of the history too.
Well, African American history began with the arrival of Africans to North America
The
in
researcher.
the 16th and 17th
I
centuries.
feel good to be back with the researcher.
You know, Black with the facts.
So
I
that was
mean,
what now? What when?
in the 16th and 17th centuries.
Okay.
Former slaves who had been freed by Francis Drake arrived in California in 1579.
Okay.
Roughly 10 to 12 million Africans who were sold by barbarian slave trade, either to European slavery or to servitude in the Americas. Approximately 388,000 landed in North America.
All right.
That's a lot. And like I know that I've gotten into this conversation with people on social media, and I've made my post and ended with I'm not trying to argue. But then of course it's always somebody
But sure,
trying to
come
argue.
on.
But we are all people of color.
Mm-hmm.
And when I mention things of our culture or things of culturally people of color, people will say, well, we ain't all Africans or we ain't all African American.
Yeah.
Okay, well, fine. Or if you want to be European, Irish, whatever, be that. But I am a person of color and I'm proud of our history and where we came from. Like our history didn't start when they brought us here. Our history dates way back further than that.
Right. So, okay. Did you all watch The Woman King?
I did.
I did.
I love that movie.
Man.
I walked out feeling like I had
Look, I got
all
emotional. Like
all the power in the world.
Well, it talks about us selling us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The homie.
The
homie.
The homie. Like that was in one place. That was one place. But you think about the transatlantic slave
Ooh.
trade. It wasn't in just Nigeria. It wasn't just here or there.
It was all over.
It was all over different places. So somebody got the brilliant idea to, okay, I'm not selling them for you to abuse them and beat them in that way. But here, their work, we're trading whatever, it came off as a trade, almost like the prison system now, and they can do this free labor and all of us can be richer. That's the model that I saw. Like we are, I wouldn't sell either of you to enhance my whatever.
We'll sell Chuck.
Yeah, I mean,
We'll sell
like, he's valuable. Okay. But in the grand scheme of things, like you can see how, like what type of conditions would put you in a place to say, okay, how about I just give you him?
What makes you feel like I could just sell you though? Like if we chilling right here now, and I'm like, take her.
That would make me say that I'll go, or that
What makes me feel like I can
that
just
you can do that?
sell you? Like,
look, I got a cousin right now that I
stop.
Yeah, so that is a great question. That's what I'm thinking. Like, at what point do I become so desperate to be greater or have more that I would say that this sugar or this gold or this whatever is worth these people right here?
But we've seen parents that are addicted that have a disease
Okay.
do it
that sell their children for
a bunch of times.
a
Or we've
rock.
heard it. We've heard it. I don't know anybody that's actually done it.
Okay. So definitely something to think about, how the slave trade could have started. And then does it start from example where somebody coerces me into believing that this is something I can do? We'll bring them back. We ain't going to keep them forever, and we're not going to be mean to them. We need some people to show us how to do what you all do over here. So can we take them with us?
Right. Or like I actually believe like slavery kind of probably started with them coming over and getting one person and saying, hey, convincing them that, hey, America is this, we got this, we got this, we got that. Hey, convince your folks to come on with us real quick. Let's go just a little boat ride over there, real quick, little cruise. And then everybody else just go.
But then the violence that came along with the coercion.
Once I got you there.
And to get you on a ship and chain you and stack you on top of other human
Lay you
beings.
on top of each other.
Started out with just say 100, and by the time you made it, 85 were dead.
Man.
And then
imagine.
But we still need the work of 100.
Imagine being on a boat and somebody dies on top of you.
And you're on there for the trip for months.
Yeah. From head to foot in little spaces.
That don't make you want to fight.
It does.
It do.
Like
it
what?
makes me real violent. Like my hands started sweating.
because just so the thought of if one of my peers could be behind that type of thought, right? Like one of my peers is behind that, or somebody. You have kings in your tribe, so the setup was different even then. Like it wasn't like it is now, where we homies and we kicking it, but all of a sudden one of y'all decides that you are. Here we go back to the royal conversation. You are in charge. You are the great leader, and you can make decisions like that about other human beings. Hmm. So 9948949, if you have thoughts and feelings about this particular topic of how slavery, even like you don't hear other races talking about how they were sold into slavery. And that's something that if a lot of times in groups that I do, I ask people what's the first thing that comes to mind when I mention whatever the theme is. So sometimes I say, what's the first thing that comes to mind when I mention mental health? They say crazy.
That's the first word.
That's out that they say that. Some of them will say medicine. Some will say whatever, whatever. So if I say, what's the first thing that comes to mind when you hear Black people? When you think slavery?
Creative.
Okay, you're a little
It's the first
progressive.
thing.
Okay.
And you know what? It's I'm looking at facts. 10 facts. I'll just go to the fourth fact. Black History Month themes change yearly. The very first Black History Month theme was civilization, a world achievement. The 2023 Black History theme is Black resistance. Black resistance shines a light on historic and modern oppressions against African Americans. Advocating for equality has long been a form of resistance. Resisting acts of discrimination, injustices, and racism plays a critical role in African Americans' well being. So, yeah.
So the first thing that comes to mind for you is creativity.
Yeah, I mean, the culture, um, the things that actually, like, you've seen videos of where you see little white kids saying, I want to be Black. Why can I be Black? You never see a video of little Black kids saying, I want to be white or I want to be
but
Japanese
okay,
or
they may not be
whatever.
saying it, but their parents. Let's go here. Let's just go ahead
Imitation
and go
of
here.
life.
Oh man, the imitation of life. So when we move, when we're looking for a better opportunity, or we want to be, we're moving on up. We want our children to be in a better school system. We want our houses. We want more money. We want more value for our money when we buy a home, and we end up moving to areas like, I'm gonna just shout them out: Helena, Moody, Mount Olive, Odenville, McCalla. What's the county out there past that? Pinson, like all of these different outskirt places that we'll go. And I've gotten to the point now where I ask sometimes, like, so your baby the only Black baby in the class? Like I see this and I ask because I'm like, well, what's happening with our history and our culture if that's what we put this little Black baby in? And how do you do that? How does that go?
Well, speaking from someone who went to predominantly white schools, when we moved to Birmingham, because I'm originally from Harpersville, my mom moved us to Vestavia, and I was one of the few Black kids that went to Cahaba Heights, which is, I don't even know if it exists anymore, but I was one of the few Black kids, and being one of the few Black kids, I will say that it might have changed the way that I spoke, in which I didn't think that it did so until I went to. So we moved to Pratt City, and people were like, "You talk
Girl,
funny.
stop talking like that.
Why you talk like that?"
No, they just say you talking white.
Come
You
on,
like, what
talk
is talking
white.
white? What is
Right.
But I will say that talking white is a thing. Like, why are you talking like that?
Like
and
that.
water and this and stop. We don't talk
And
like
I
that.
didn't think of that. I was like, "Well, I'm from Harpersville.
From the
I'm
South? We
country.
say, what up, boy?
Like,
Right.
what
Go
up?"
ahead, Sean.
But like, even with being one of the few Black kids there, I will say that I was still the Black little kid trying to lay outside and get darker. I will put on baby oil gel and lay outside trying to get darker. I want it to be darker. I don't care how many white friends I have. I want to be Blacker because I always thought that
I like being Black.
darker. I like being Black. So I guess it starts at home.
Absolutely.
What you're feeding your children. Are you feeding them pride? Are you feeding them the good part of the history, not just the slavery part? Are you feeding them the parts of coming from kings and queens, not just slavery?
yeah, like
Because I know
are
your
you
dad is
doing
very
it?
rich in African culture.
Yeah, my family, but in my household, I wasn't exposed to whites other than being my teachers.
Whites.
Like growing up, my dad wasn't RIP Pop 2017. But my dad didn't watch a lot of television. My dad read a lot of books.
Mhm.
Like he read a lot of books. Like he wouldn't be interested in the internet now. He like
I want a book.
reading.
Yeah.
So two things he made us do every year, and we disliked it strongly because we knew it was coming. Easter weekend,
Mhm.
we were gonna. That's when shows came on television. Like 5 days, you had five different. We were gonna
Like
watch
the
the.
Roots or some.
We were gonna watch the
Oh, Roots. It
Imitation
said
of
the
Life.
Roots.
We were gonna watch the Imitation of Life when it came on around Easter time.
Mhm.
Easter. And he was gonna sit us down and make us watch Roots every year it came on. We knew when they said the Roots coming on Monday, we can already tell your homeboys, hey man,
We
we'll be
gotta
in
watch the Roots,
we'll be in the
man.
house at 5:30, cause 6:30, 7 o'clock, whole family sitting in front of the TV. And he was proud of that to show you, hey man, this is what folks went through, and he was big on Martin Luther King Day, on
Yeah.
Malcolm X. Nah, he was big on that stuff, like to show you, like, don't get it twisted, bro.
Like this is from whence you've come.
Right.
And you think about now, what are we telling our children to watch? What are we exposing them to as far as heritage and culture and, you know, teaching them lyrics to the Negro national anthem? Are we doing that? Are they going to church enough to be able to have it played so they can hear it?
Because that's where I learned it, of
Yeah,
course,
that's where
because I
most
went to
people
white
learn it.
schools. Because so they weren't teaching that, but I did notice that Black kids were taught different things in different parts of history than I was taught going to predominantly white schools.
Right. Yeah. So now here we are in 2023 where we moved on up a little bit more. A lot of people, a lot of African Americans are more affluent than some whites now. Some other races of people. There's a lot of resources and revenue flowing through black communities. And there are new black communities that are so modern that they lack that substance.
I,
Like,
I don't think they lack it. I think they want to forget it
oh, wow, okay.
because, you know, I grew up in a neighborhood where my mom would say, run across the street and borrow some sugar from
Mhm.
such and such, and come
Mhm.
back to the house. Or, you don't see that much anymore, especially when we make a little bit of bread. The first thing we want to do is move far out. We want to move. Well, not all of us. A lot of us want to move far out.
Yeah.
Then once you get far out and start having the perils that come with living far out,
Mhm.
then you want
To come back.
yeah.
So like the police in the area they don't do roadblocks, but you know that
You
we
better
don't.
get caught in certain areas, so
Yeah.
they're gonna pull you over.
And
just
you live here.
because.
You have a mortgage here. But every time you bust this corner, he or she is sitting right there like whoop whoop.
And y'all know the areas that people experience that Hoover, Homewood, Walker County for sure, Hueytown,
Brookside.
Oh,
And
so
you make your commute to work an hour just because you want to live way out when you
I'm
got a
cool.
home house in
In College
Kingston.
Hills, right? Kingston, Avondale.
I don't really feel like now. I don't feel like. Well, I don't really know. I think it may be split between people who want to just move out just because it's nicer, or if it's people that just want to move out for safety reasons.
Mhm.
I
dig it.
I will say that my mom did move back to Harpersville, which is it one way or the other. Like my cousin's the mayor, so you can't say it's predominantly white anymore. But whatever. But on the 4th of July, she wasn't hearing gunshots all night. I
Oh,
live in Anston. I
Oh.
was. There are just certain aspects to safety, I think, that a lot of people are looking for.
I dig that.
I
And
can
better
too.
school systems. Because otherwise, your kids are zoned for, I just take Birmingham, for example. A lot of Birmingham schools are on the failing list. If you're looking for a better school system, better opportunities for your children, you might move them out unless they can test into the more the better publicized schools. When you got your Epics or your Ramseys
Yeah.
and Phillips and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Parker.
Yeah.
Arthur Harold Parker.
And see, okay, so a part
That's
of
why I
the
went.
look, that's where I went. I didn't go to Parker. I ended up going to Huffman.
Mhm.
But my heart was always and
West
still
Side,
is
baby.
on the west side. I really felt like it wasn't really a culture shock, but I'm just like, this is just
These
these
people.
people ain't like me. This is just 20 minutes over the freeway.
Yeah.
And I already knew, like on the west side, it's a different west side. I would say North Birmingham as well. Like in the areas where we started, you do know where so and so grandma live. You
Yeah.
can walk here and there.
Yeah.
You can go to church in your neighborhood. When we got to the east side, I don't know. There wasn't no black churches over there that I knew about. I ain't know nobody grandma over there. Nobody that used to keep me or my cousin's cousin. None of that was over there. All of that was over here. Now I would say maybe in Eastlake because a lot of black people were in Eastlake.
I never move over there.
But Dave, I think like you said, Kingston being the furthest east and maybe Woodlawn.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
And since say in Woodland
It's white again.
right, it's gentrification.
So yeah.
They're buying the houses and
Yeah.
they're remodeling them and they are raising the property values on stuff.
I
Like,
remember
they will move us out.
I remember when we didn't know about the Avondale that people hang out in
Man,
now.
what?
Man.
Avondale was Avondale Project. And
Right.
Hayes,
Right,
and,
right.
yeah,
Hayes. Don't
and-
know about it.
Yeah.
Hayes.
and the Burger King that was right there. What if for the Slim and Husky
And that
supposed to be.
gas
Mhm.
station right there with
Yeah.
a road
Shell
with
with
the
the
funny stuff.
yeah.
If that is a perfect line drawn between the tracks,
Yeah.
the infamous crossing
Cross
the
the
tracks.
Cross them
track,
tracks,
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
I'd like to urge everyone who's listening to get this book called The Black Book. It's by Toni Morrison. You can order it on Amazon, and it's just a collage of different history aspects and experiences of African Americans. It's dated back to 1974. It has obituaries, advertisements, photographs, sheet music. It has poems.
It's everything.
Everything. I have it. I love it. And I bought it because my daughter went to private school at first, and now she's getting her cultural experience. She loved it. She loved Ramsey. But I wanted her to be well versed and to know certain things that she was not taught and doesn't see
Yeah.
on a regular. So if it's a nice table book for people to come in like, oh, what's this?
Mm-hmm.
It's about 198 pages. It's a good book. I enjoy it. I'll post it on my page later.
The Black Book.
The Black Book.
All right, y'all, coming back. We're going to continue this conversation. All things Black. Today is the first Sunday of Black History Month. It's also the first Sunday of Love Month. And I think those two go hand in hand in a very deep and spiritual way. Black love, yo. I think that was on the game where they said that, like, everybody, Black love, yo. So, like, we'll get into that a little bit later in the show. But when we come back, we're going to continue this conversation just about the Black experience. And Dave, we'll give you opening rights to do that when we come back. What is your Black experience?
Yeah.
That's what you walked in on.
Yeah, it's
So,
on
like,
your turn.
Right
Yeah.
on.
What
You
it's
already
like to
did
be
it.
Black.
Is that a Colt 45?
No, this Billy D. This is water, man. It's some good water.
It's called Liquid Death. I don't like it.
All right, we'll be back.
You crazy, man.
Tribe Called Quest.
This is no, this is
No, I'm saying.
oh yeah, Tribe Called Quest. It's listening to your uncles and your dad and them try to fix a car and telling lies and jokes outside. You know what I
Right.
mean? And your mama and your auntie them cooking greens and you eating greens and cornbread with your fingers.
Yeah.
It's that kind of stuff. You know, it's being in church all day on Sundays. And then when you think then when you think church is over, your parents hit you with, we got 3 o'clock program we got to go to. You know, it's that stuff.
Going back there and eat that chicken and green beans.
That's what I'm talking about.
House.
So for me, it's a sense of pride. It's a sense of family. You know, it's a sense of before people were flying, we took road trips in the car to see grandma. You know, and you know, it's just that kind of stuff. You know, it ain't shiny.
Mm-hmm.
It's my dad coming home saying, "Hey man, we may be able to do this today. We may not. You know, because we got to pay for this."
It's good times.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? This is a need. What you want is a want. I can't. But I'm not saying we can't get it. We just can't get it now. It's being honest with your kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what black love looks like to me, man. Him
like
dancing
that.
with my mom in the kitchen. Like,
Right.
come on, Betty, you remember this dance?
Right.
Like the mashed potato. Like, man, what the mashed potato? And they dance for a quick second while my mama cooking. You know, and that's what I grew up on.
And those are the moments that even if you didn't see them in your household, a part of being black is that you could identify those somewhere.
You can identify.
And you know, you can say that you've seen it.
Right. Keeping your head above water.
Right.
Away
Like right. If nothing but good times, you can say you saw it.
Right. Or you saw the version of the Cosby Show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You saw Fresh Prince. You saw Family Matters. You saw
Martin.
Carl Winslow was the dopest dad. Okay, outside of James, Carl Winslow was dope.
I ain't like Carl.
They kind of had a little corny factor.
Well, it was the middle of the road. You had the Jeffersons, or you had the Fresh Prince, who was too rich. You had you had Good Times,
way too poor.
And Carl Winslow was a police officer.
True. And then and what did Harriet do?
I was like, what did Harriet do?
She worked in retail.
Okay.
Yeah, dig that. She worked in retail, man.
And then how Richie went upstairs one day and never came back down.
But that was okay. So talk about those dynamics. Richie's mama, Thelma, was Harriet's sister who lived with them.
Okay.
With her little boy.
Yeah.
Black.
Now
that
check
is
this
very
out.
black.
Now check this out. That's the only thing that used to make me miss when I would visit my partners who lived in like New York and DC or whatever.
Yeah.
Because the same people stay in the neighborhood that they remember from age 5, and they're 50 now.
Yeah.
When we get older, we move away. They come right back to that same, so they can be like, "Hey, Miss Johnson," and they know she's on the 3rd floor, and you know,
in the same building.
She's been the neighborhood babysitter for 40 years.
I mean, exactly.
And that's what I actually admire about your living conditions now, that you move back and you know all your neighbors remember you as a little girl. Like, it's the family and
community.
It's the community aspect of it. And I think we lose a lot of that.
You look at it from a police standpoint. The police that I knew in my neighborhood growing up, he parked his car. We knew him. And he walked the neighborhood. So he knew if your car was supposed to be home at 5, but it's 6 and your car wasn't there, he'll knock on the door and be like, "Hey, well, right." He didn't show up after the body been found.
Right.
While he was there, you may not have been nobody, because everybody like, "Man, don't do that." He gonna, he caught you trying to drink at the school, in the park. He gonna take you to your mama.
And you know what? Me and a friend of mine were talking about that earlier today. How you have like these foreigners coming into our neighborhoods and they're buying these gas stations and these liquor stores and stuff, and they're selling to underage kids. He said he saw someone sell a cigarette to an 11-year-old. 11.
Yeah.
He also remembered how he was in a car accident when he was about 15, 16, and it was a foreigner that sold him and his cousin alcohol at that young age, because they just want the money. But if there was the real neighborhood aspect where we owned our own stuff, your mama won't want you down here doing this. What? Miss Diane, your son down here doing such and such.
Here's the crazy part. He was the police officer. He lived in our neighborhood. he was one of the youth football coaches for the
I'm
football
all
team.
in.
Right.
So I knew him.
My
And if
neighborhood.
anybody's listening, I ain't gonna call the dude's name, but anybody's listening, no, we knew him from Wilkerson. Then he was at Parker. Then all the football games we played, he was there. So it was no way to get away from this dude, but he was a good dude.
Yeah.
I went to school with his daughter.
So being vested like that in the community, like I'm so vested in my community that I'm going to move on up with my kids. I'm going
Yeah.
to, we go to church in the neighborhood. Like I think I just told you that. Like for my preschool, I went to 10 schools. I posted that last night on Facebook. I did. But for my preschool, our back door was like maybe 20 steps to my preschool and to the church that my family grew up in. They grew up in Macedonia, and so I would walk out of the back door and go to preschool.
That's why you've been so grown all your life.
I ain't go by myself. My daddy,
I'm
my mama walked with me.
Your mama stood at the door and watched you.
Look,
Go
now-
across the street, Dana.
She
later
got it.
on, that did happen. Y'all don't need to walk. I got it.
I'm a big girl.
We're good. But that was later on, so y'all right. But the idea that was like the church is right here, the store is right here, and at that time, our people would own the little store. Like you can
Right.
go around. I remember in Fairfield, Mr. Turner's store, and Mr. Turner's store was right across from Miles College. I didn't grow up in Fairfield like my family did, but I was there long enough to recognize Mr. Turner and Mrs. Turner have a store, and you can go in there and get
penny candy.
yeah.
Mr.
Or you had the
Lawrence store
candy
had the
lady.
best Frank sandwiches in the
Mr.
world. Boy,
Lawrence
Frank's
store.
and bologna sandwiches. Them things was fire.
Yeah, we got to talking about the
He had a
candy
griddle
lady.
in his store.
We got to talking about the candy lady at work the other day. Like, where the candy ladies at?
That's a
What?
Like,
thing
you
of the
walk in the
past.
store, you
Like
walk in
what?
their house, and it smell like roaches, but you fixing to buy that candy.
And you
finna
gonna
buy
get that
drink.
bebop, that
Right,
freeze
you finna
cup.
bebop that you made in that house that smell like roaches, but you still finna buy it because
Here we go.
I want it.
Roach.
Smelling like a
Roach.
roach.
Like a roach.
Like what the hell does a roach smell like? But
I
okay.
mean, hey, you know what roach smell like when
Like,
you smell
If
it.
you know what a
Roach.
roach smell like. But like, can you think of a neighborhood now where there's a candy lady or there's anybody at home all
No.
day? Okay. All right. Well,
But what's changed? The reason why there's nobody at home.
You know
all day
what I think
anymore?
messed it up? And I've said this before, and I had a real live argument about this. You know what I think messed it up? Real talk?
What?
Garages.
Huh?
what?
I think people having garages on their homes messed it up.
Why?
Because don't do me like that. Woo. I'm gonna explain. Let me explain.
Go ahead.
I feel like now, like growing up, we didn't have no garage. No houses in our neighborhood had garages.
We
So-
didn't either.
so
Let's
when-
car porch.
So when you
Yeah,
park
yeah.
your car, you had to get out into the elements. You might have saw a neighbor across the street and like,
And
hey,
use
Mr.
speed.
Hey. Now, once we come home and go in that garage, we've got it mastered. We know how many seconds coming
Look.
across the hill to hit that garage door for it to go up. Then once you pull your car down and it go down, you're not gonna see me anymore Until-
fraternize.
tomorrow. But my
Okay.
daddy might have parked his car and got out and saw such and such over here
And
doing
stood out there for
something.
an hour.
And my dad didn't intend to go help, but he might have went over there and started helping put a porch together or something. It made people
Have
talk.
to talk.
Now,
I think it's gotten worse due to COVID too, because COVID wouldn't allow us to socialize and be around each other for
Hashtag
so
garage.
long. Right. Be around each other for so long. Now people are so awkward in person.
Child. So yeah, I can kind of see that. The pandemic, sure. Like the pandemic is something that we will never talk. We will never not relate everything to the pandemic because true enough, it impacted everything. But the
Woo,
garage,
you gave her kudos on the pandemic, but you didn't give
I'm
me
about
kudos
to,
on
I'm
my
about to have a
garage.
whole
He
conversation
finna
about
come,
the
she
garage.
finna
You didn't
come
give me-
bite. You had like a
He
watch
want-
now.
She won't like a what?
He wanted
Like
a
a
roach.
roach.
He wanted me
Roach.
to start with him. So
Your
let's
house
start- let's
smell
go
like
here.
roach.
Let's start over.
The idea of the garage. So down in Inslee, where there was only like I don't even know how many square feet of house it would be. Not even as big as this radio station, the house that I started in. But there was no garage. You're right.
Mhm.
Then we moved on up because you
Mhm.
move on up from down in Inslee to Bellevue Heights. You move up. To
You
the
done
heights.
move you up there. Then you on
move
the
to the
heights,
heights,
boy.
right?
It's the
Yeah.
Highland.
Uppity.
My grandparents stay in the Highlands, but now it's all Ainsley. But anyway, moved up to Bellevue Heights, and then Bellevue Heights, the house that we got had a garage, but it wasn't really like the garage that you be like
Yeah.
excited about. But we had one.
But you still had to come outside of that garage to go in the
Right.
house.
So that was a little different. And then by that time, because of the area, we weren't the first owners of these houses. The houses down in Ainsley, my great granddaddy actually built the house.
Mhm.
The house that we moved in, guess who had it before we got it? Probably a white family.
Probably
Mm.
so.
So like you get that step up, but then you go to your next step up. Y'all move from that to the east side.
Mm.
The east side, now you got a garage with a remote.
How many folks have you seen outside in that neighborhood?
That's when it changes. So you are absolutely right about that. Then the children kind of play, but then I remember my brother having an episode with a little white boy who he used to play with, and one day it was like, "You gotta go. You can't be here." But we've been playing for 2 years. Why I gotta go today? What happened? So I guess today your daddy coming home early and the little black boy can't be in the house or whatever the case may be. I don't remember what the exact situation was, but not only the garage, but the fact that now y'all kind of like equal with us. We all staying on the same street with a garage with the opener. You don't have. We had to get out to open the garage at the old house, but
And
now
lift it up and let it down.
yeah, now we got one with the button. And we don't have to say anything. We don't even have to get out of the car to open the garage.
That's the point.
Right.
Once you go 5 seconds to click that thing up, once you hit the block, by the time you make it in the house and click that thing and let it back down.
That's it. So am I so humble because I don't have a garage?
Say it again.
Am I still humble like this because I don't have a garage?
No, I'm just saying it. But think about it. You made us. You said something a while back about the cat that was laying on your street with the little prank or whatever.
Yeah.
You probably wouldn't have paid that no attention for real if you had went straight in the house.
But didn't have to go. Didn't have to get outside.
Yeah.
Okay.
You'd have went in the house. You might have called the police from in the house, but you was in the house. You saw that because, like I said, I just felt like the garages, not having a garage, made people talk, whether you wanted to or not.
Yeah.
You stopped and saw that person.
Yeah, you speak. Like
Yeah.
now on my street, nobody on my street has a garage. I live in the Highlands. And everybody, like even my neighbor's son, he speak every time he see me. Hey, Miss Candace. Hey, or whatever. The neighbor on the other side of me, he used to speak, but he weird. So I told him to stop speaking to me. But people talk. Like neighbor
Hey.
a couple houses down, he see me every morning 5:30 out of my car. He waving and speaking. It just, you're right. We don't have garages and we still speak.
Man, I remember growing up, my mom and her neighbor across the street, our next door neighbor and the neighbor across the street, it was 3 families. And that's one thing. That's another thing. I grew up with like 15 families on my
Mhm.
street.
Same for us.
So my next door neighbors, my parents, and my neighbors across the street, the men would get up at 5 when they barbecued, and the men would fix the fire. Instead of coming in one yard and talking, they would talk across the fence,
yard.
across the street, had a little radio out there and talking whatever. And that was the men's time to talk.
Mhm.
Then by the time the fire was stoked, because my dad didn't want nobody to start his fire but him. So by the time the meat was ready to be
Marinated
prepared,
and all, yeah.
then Miss Fiend and my mama and Miss Kirk, they would come outside.
And then the
and-
kids started coming outside and playing, riding their bikes and all
Then
that
me and
stuff.
so it was almost like,
It's understood.
and I never
Yeah.
understood why won't y'all just sit on the porch with each
Mm-mm.
other and talk? It's opposed to she on her porch, you on your porch, and they hollering across the street.
I mean,
know?
because it's my neighborhood, I can do that.
Right. We all know each other. If y'all want to come over here for a minute, you might. But back and forth. Same for us. So what neighborhood was that?
I grew up in Enid Ridge.
Enid Ridge.
Fountain Heights, Enid Ridge area. Enid Ridge. Enid Ridge is on the other side of that's where I grew up.
And again,
14 coat, Jack.
And we had the conversation that that's considered North Birmingham, but I still kind of that's Northwest.
yeah, Northwest-ish.
That's Northwest.
Yeah.
I
Like-
grew up right behind Tuggle.
Yep.
Yeah.
Northwest.
Like I grew up in Harpersville, and to this day, Harpersville is still like that. But all of us are related down there. So you go down there, ain't nobody doors locked. You just walk in, hey,
I ain't just walking to my house.
Nah.
right. But that is the country aspect
Catch
of
something hot to try.
Shelby County, that type thing, holidays and stuff. Like you just walking in, you don't call.
Down by
when you
J&J
come over.
Junk Pile.
Like Harpersville is way down 280, the speed trap. Like but we're all family down there, and I enjoy going down there on the holidays to have that aspect of folks talking across the yards and stuff, and folks just waving, speaking, they might not know who you are, but hey there.
Yeah, you over there.
No, hey.
So if you're just tuning in, or if you're listening, and we're kind of jogging your memory on some blackness, some cultural community type stuff, that I like, honestly, that is what we lack for sure. We're in competition. We're trying to figure out who has the most, who has the best, or how they got that, why they got that. And that unity piece, like no new friends, blah, 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 this, and that. We have lost so much of that. And I'm wondering, at what point did we lose it? Is it the church? Was it the school? Was it the fact that well, the Johnsons done left the neighborhood, and now that the Fishers and left, the Woodrers left. So now it's just the Colemans. And
I think it's a little bit of all of that. But
okay.
I think it's a lot of finances. We want better for our families and children.
Yeah.
So to us, that means not knocking the old house. If you got it right, if you got a chance to keep the family house, keep the family house.
For sure.
The
But
home
still,
house.
For sure.
Yeah, but the home house, but still move somewhere else where folks can come and ooh and ah. Like, whoa, wow, but up north, when they make it, they still move back to the block.
And I may
They have
buy
brownstone.
something. Yeah, I may buy something elsewhere. Like I may get me a vacation spot.
But
this home,
They had those brownstones with 3 or 4 families living in
mhm,
that's
Yeah.
been there
Mhm.
forever and a day.
I
That
love
made me
it.
think about Crooklyn. Crooklyn is,
That was the first movie I went to see at
Bahama.
the movies.
Who?
Bahama.
What that meant?
Right hand man.
I don't know.
She said it though.
Yes,
Is that
she
Troy?
did.
Hey, Rossi
Troy
says
boy.
it still happens in our neighborhood. The men all meet on the corner on any given Saturday.
That's dope.
I would love to
Yeah.
know what neighborhood that is, because that's not happening everywhere. And then some of the neighborhoods that you can think about where you might see that. I was in Pleasant Grove yesterday, and I'm like, everybody moving to Pleasant Grove. That's like
Yeah.
such a thing, right? Come to Pleasant Grove. If you come up, you go to Pleasant Grove. You build a house in okay, we get it.
Fine.
But what I thought about was that there was a time when I didn't even know what Pleasant Grove was.
I had no reason to know why.
Right?
Bro.
Like I would see the sign in Ensley about a plant, but I didn't know what that was. But now you come up a little bit, you might probably go to Pleasant Grove.
Yeah.
And in that area now, because there are people who have come up and they are all in that area together, I can imagine that you may see that in Pleasant Grove. You may see neighbors that get together and talk across the fence and may meet up, and I can see
ride
that
through
in
there, you
those type
smell
neighborhoods.
barbecue
Right.
and
I can see that
kids
now.
riding their bikes.
So that may be a rebuild of the old Blaque that we're speaking of. In other areas, maybe in Adamsville, maybe. Just thinking about other areas where you may see some of that, which is why I asked Rossi, what neighborhood is it that you see that in from time to time? Because most of us don't see that anymore. Churches. So we talked about the Black church and how the Black church was the pinnacle for the Black everything, the Black family, the civil rights meetings, learning culture, learning religion, learning heritage, everything, learning order. That's what church did. But
order.
Now church. What? Yeah. It may be 4 churches folk go to, and are they having Black history programs? Are they having enrichment programs? Are they teaching lift every voice and sing?
Right. I did Still I Rise every year.
Okay.
Every year in the Black History program.
So what are Black churches doing now? Light shows, projector screen,
Everything got razzle dazzle to it.
Virtual everything.
Okay.
You don't hear about little girls having dance practice for the Black History
Oh
program.
my goodness.
Dance practice. You don't
And
have
all evening going over the same steps and
same steps and learning Ride On King Jesus to sing at the program. Like you don't hear that.
Man,
that was fun.
Anybody church in 2023 putting extravaganza on the end of your flyer. I'm
I
not
remember
coming.
you said that.
Then you
I'm
got
not
a flyer.
coming.
A flyer.
We
Back
did used to
then,
have flyers. We
like-
used to have flyers, but they weren't this kind
You
of
sit on the
flyer.
They weren't
WH,
like
you
this.
sit them to the radio station and then let Pat Williams read it off.
Yeah.
Right.
Y'all can do that with Vital. If you're having something at your church and you feel that is vital and the community should know, let us know. We will take it. You can even bring it by the station. I said I wanted to go back to an old school way of marketing. Anyway,
Yeah.
Well, there,
let's do it.
I don't know what churches are doing. I mean,
Black churches.
Black. There's some that still, get down in the ways of old, but they're empty because
Yeah, it's so many.
people are looking for the razzle dazzle.
And a lot of people have just decided, you know what, that's too much to go to that church. I'm just gonna go to this mega church over here, put my little offering in, and go home.
But then too, a lot of that comes with church hurt too. There's a lot of that going on in the Black church.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Church
Oh
hurt
my goodness.
in the Black church. So that has been a thing too. Whereas the church was the place that used to help and heal the hurt. Now y'all new Black people are saying that the church is the place that caused it.
Too much sassing from the administration.
Oh man. Okay, so a whole lot to talk about. About the Black experience. Shouting out everybody who's on right now. I see Chris Wilson, Chuck. What's up, Chuck? I mean,
please don't say that dude's name out. Don't Chuck. I mean,
sorry.
Hey, Ebony.
You see how we got quiet on you, Chuck?
Sorry.
And don't call my phone either. Just
he already talked about you, but I didn't read.
Make me say your real name on the air.
Okay. All right. Hello.
Talk about your dad and that golden child hat he used to wear.
Oh, sounds like some Black culture. My brother is on the live, and So yeah. Everybody talking about growing up in Forestdale. Forestdale was another one of those areas though with we weren't there first. So where did your family go or come from to go to Forestdale? Like maybe did y'all go from Pratt to Forestdale?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like really, like where we lived at Pratt and Forestdale was kind of like cousins, like almost
It's
the same thing.
I'm not from Pratt. I'm from Forestdale.
Like, okay, well, why I see you at Grants then?
Ooh, Grants. Whoa.
I still call that store Grants, so that ain't even the name of that store.
That's like us with Spur and Fairway.
Yeah, stuff is gonna be what it was.
It was Fairway.
That's what it is.
It was Dale Shamps.
Right.
So okay, hearing about everybody checking in. Courtney J. Beasley says Pratt City. What's up? And Evan is responding to Rossi. I grew up in Forestdale. There was something special about seeing Black men talking and having beer on the back of the pickup truck or in the driveway.
On that truck bed, man.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So it's about the culture, y'all. Blackness is about the culture for the most part and being able to be resilient. We're going to get into the topic or the theme of Black History Month, Black resistance, which I think brings forth Blackness to a more present day conversation about your Blackness. Hey, my daddy is on. He said your daddy on. What up, daddy? And then what up, Kimberly Meadows Clark? One time for you.
Yes, man. She making major moves.
Yeah. So if you are vital and you know somebody that is vital, we want you to check in to let us know who you are, where you're listening from, where you're watching. And be sure to tell your people, get in Messenger and share this feed to them so they can be a part of the conversation too. While we take just a quick break, when I tell you quick, I mean super quick. While we take this quick break, I want you guys to write in the comments about your Black experience. And if you're not one of our Black listeners, what is it like to be what is it like to be a part of the Black experience? Because clearly you are if you're here listening to our show and being a part of the world with us. So talk about that. We want to welcome everybody to this conversation. Black Resistance 2023 is the theme. We'll be back in to talk about it, and we're going to pick up with the comment from Marley as soon as we return right here on V94.9 WATV.
I'm gonna tell you what I've been listening to, man, all week.
What?
I've been on a freaking X Clan. You remember X Clan, the old rap group X Clan? You a dig X Clan. You know X Clan? You know X Clan?
Fix your lips.
I'm just saying, they will be
I'll be 50 on January 6th, and the venue's already booked.
And we gonna
the
be
party's gonna be called Fly Days, Freak Nick, Top Flight 50. Make it happen, Kevin. Get your shorts together. Yeah. Come on, we
Can I
coming.
wear tennis?
Huh?
Can I wear some tennis?
That's what it's about.
Okay.
We doing this. We straight. I'm telling you. I ain't got number. fried fish, pork chop, chicken wings, okra, and
fried
French
fish
fries.
sandwich with a little hot sauce.
I got a whole candy lady.
Man,
I got a candy lady at the club.
I'm coming.
Well, we got pickles, honey buns, big blows.
Be there. You better be
You
there.
keep it. My JoJo McToy at the flight at the Rose. I'm going back. Let's get it. Baby, next year.
Hey, and we're back. Second hour right here, B94.9 WATV. The first full Sunday, well, the first Sunday in February, Black History Month, Love Month as well. That's what we're celebrating. Culture, pride, heritage, history, culture, pride, history, heritage, influence, everything, the positive and the negative, all of that. That's what we're talking about right here on B94.9 WATV. We're here every Sunday. Even if we ain't here for 2 hours, we're here to give you something. You're going to always leave with something. So I said I was going to pick up on this comment right here. Inslee made me, Huffman raised me. But Inslee taught me more about real life. Just in my honest opinion, Inslee is the central of Black culture for me and my city, a little Pratt city too. Period. And that's what I say. I had that's my brother, and I had the honor of having my face and a quote from me down on a 10-story building when they were trying to see what to do with it. And that's what I said. Like, Inslee actually taught me a whole lot. Like, I went to school in Huffman, but Inslee taught me. So I'm forever concerned and in love with Inslee. So I get that, Justin. Rossi said, not Top Flight. Girl, that was not there when you were down
Top
there.
Flight,
That was
not the
definitely
Rose.
gone, right?
Top Flight with the Noose on Thursday. It's Thursday.
Third Thursday. We'll talk about that. That's Black history too. We'll talk about that. Kimberly said, I grew up in West Goldwire Estates. Yeah. And I'm back in our home house. My neighbors were Jake Sanders, Cliff Madro. I'm pretty sure I spelled that wrong, LOL. But I also lived in the projects in Fairfield with my daddy's side. So Kim just gave you a whole history lesson. And she talking about Jake. I wonder if she's talking about Jake Sanders, Negro League baseball player, because he ended up being my neighbor in Bellevue Heights. And yeah, so that's how we all connected in the Magic City. Then here's somebody else that I know well. Your grandparents were born in Inslee. Daddy George Woodruff was born at 1230 Avenue I, which is where a plot that I have. And my grandmother was born at 711 12th Street. That's okay. Kim said, yeah. So that's the house that I was telling you guys about where we moved up from. So the history of having something, like a lot of us can say, we can have these conversations about where we come from in that sense, but I think a big part of the issue that we face now is that we can't say where we come from past that, past our grandparents and great grandparents. We can't say, yeah, man, I'm from the so and so tribe of blah 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 blah.
I can't.
Like, no. And then even if you do ancestry.com or one of those tools, is it going to be able to thoroughly give you something that you can go and find out and see the people and ask, like, do you all think that do you ever think that we would know exactly who's and where we came from? Like, I can tell you, a couple folk can tell you far back enough to say they were sharecroppers. That's as far back as I hear a lot of times. I don't hear a lot of people being able to say, yeah, my people, I remember Candace said a long time ago about some Scandinavian folk. I'm like, oh, where is that? But the whitest of the white, right? And that's where you said that your last name came from. Mm-mm. What was that? Why were we talking about that?
That was where my old pastor's people originated from. Like, he had his Scandinavian uncle would come to church. And he looked just like him.
Why you looking like that, Woo?
Like
because he was from Scandinavia, he was still living.
Right. He was real old. Like, real old. But he looked just like my pastor.
And he was white?
But he was white. It was really odd. Like, weird.
You know what I mean? Oh. Shut up.
Dang.
But look, to that point, my great-grandfather had siblings who left like my great-grandfather and the rest of their siblings, to go off and live as white men. We ain't never seen them.
So that means they were
real light.
That light. And they were able to pass so much so that they passed and never returned.
My mom's Indian.
And all of us say we got Indian.
No, you saw her, you like high cheekbones, like bronze. and her hair was parted down the middle, and she used to wear it in
In
two
the
white
tails.
ponytails
Yep.
like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't mean like part in it. I mean like she was 100%
Like
something.
Native American.
Yeah, feather in her hair.
So the historical those pieces, right? Like we can say that we know in Alabama there were Native Americans here. Alabama, that's though even some like a lot of the places, Talladega and these different places that we see. You go up to Gadsden, you got Nakalula Falls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you think about different places where our people are. Of course, our people were there as well, and those are our people. But just the
'Cause
idea,
everybody was enslaved except for them.
child, or either like if they weren't enslaved, they were being robbed of what they had
Right.
and run out. Then you're on the Trail of Tears going to Oklahoma and Nevada and wherever they, yeah. So it's
Then
a lot.
you had the Holocaust with
Oh
them
man,
people.
so much history.
Yeah.
Black History Month, yo. My daddy just said Lizzo on the Grammys. Okay.
Your daddy is hilarious.
We don't have the TV on tonight. But if you are multitasking and watching the Grammys, that's good. The Grammys is always a big weekend where we come back tomorrow or during the week and talk about Grammy wins and different things that happen. I normally don't talk about them a lot in my show because I'm always on the air unless we have the TV on. This year we don't. Dang. So the Black experience. Some of you did put in the comments about your experience and what you think and how you feel about being Black and what it means to you. I'm going to go to the phone lines. Caller, you're in with Vital on B94.9 WATV. On Sunday nights, the V stands for Vital. What's your comment?
Hey, thank you so much for taking my call.
Mhm.
So glad to hear and see Fly Dave back in the room.
Yeah.
Glad you're
Thank you.
better, Dave.
Man,
God bless you.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. I'm just kind of bubbling with I don't know, just from what you all are talking about, our experience. I'm just so happy to hear this tonight. That's some good stuff that you all are talking about. And it reminded me of a brief conversation that I had just the other day when my husband and I attended the repast for Rudolphus Wynn, a Fairfieldian. And we were talking to one of his nephews. And Carl Bowie said he remembered how Miss Buford used to have a key to everybody's house right there in the block. And see that's what we came up on.
Yep.
She was that person in our block who had the key to everybody's house.
Right.
Because sometimes you could get locked out of your house, and we were a family. We loved each other. We looked out for each other, just all of that. And I just love what you all are talking about. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much. So these moments are our conversation is bringing up moments for you all that are listening. If it's something comes up for you and you want to share it, feel free to call in 994-8949, 994-8949. Just a conversation about your neighborhood, how you grew up, some of the Black things that you miss, the pieces of culture and family, identity, education, spirituality, all of the many elements of what makes us us that either we don't have anymore or that are now considered Black history. I want to shout out Lyanne up in New York who's tuned in or watching. Also, hello to Whitney, Chris Wilson. Hey to you. Arthur, Jonathan Hatton, Reverend, hello, and Miss Oaks, hello to all of you. One of our viewers just commented, I absolutely love being Black. I wouldn't want it any
Me
other
too.
way. I can't imagine it any other way. Like I say now, I probably would be funny looking if I was light skinned.
I would too.
Like,
I was just
what?
looking at my nose like that is a funny looking nose on a light skinned person.
You was just doing that?
Yeah, I was looking
You're
at my
weird.
nose because I could see myself.
Okay. Let me see how you doing. And you said if that was on a light skinned person, what?
It would look weird.
Okay then.
You know, them dark skinned noses be different.
Yes, I've seen some. So thinking about old good times, like a lot, over the past week, I've lost a lot of people that I had personal connections to, my own connections, not just family connections, but people that I had my own connections to, and we're not even 40, right? We're not, most of us are not even 40 yet. That are some of those that, well, most of those that passed within this season were not even 40, and then some of them no older than 48, 49. So a lot of people leaving this walk, and just thinking about growing up and reflecting, and like the caller said, the times when you're at the repast or at the home goings, that's when you hear the stories about the good old days when we were unified, when we had when the memories came. And I always think about, what are we affording our young Black children as far as that type of culture, that heritage that we had. We have stories that we can tell about when folk don't even let their children go to sleepovers, birthday parties.
Mhm.
You can't nowadays. You don't. You don't know what the people
So
are
we
doing in
knew
the home.
we knew then.
We didn't know then what you knew the people a little bit better because you didn't have garages. Hashtag garages.
So okay.
Black didn't say nothing.
I mean, because you are just stuck on these garage things. But I mean, I get it though. I do get it.
I'm looking at Camellia. Camellia said, "I've seen light skinned people with wide or big noses." True,
For real. They look funny too. Like, I'm fun about noses. And if
but
it
you
look
know that
weird,
your nose wouldn't look right
mm,
with light skin on it.
mm.
But even
Goodness
though
gracious.
Like, you're a little lighter than me, Dave, and your nose is different from me. But yeah, I like our black noses.
garages, listen, even back then, my mom still wasn't playing that spend the night stuff.
Spend
Okay.
the night.
Yeah, and they knew the folks. They was just like, nah, you don't know. My mom and them didn't play going in somebody's house. If you wanted to play on the porch, play in the yard. You know, you still innocent. If you go on the inside and you've seen too much.
I will say for us that was different.
Yeah.
So I can name the whole crew: Tony Hughes, Tony and Marcus Morton, Jasmine, Bubba, Keelan Daniels, Valencia Maddox, Mindy Bragg, DJ Westry. Shout out to everybody like between 44th, 43rd, and 45th Street in Bellevue Heights. All of us walked to school together. Tony Neal and his sisters. We walked to school. We walked back together. Patrice Kane and her sisters. I'm thinking about it even more the more that I talk about it. And it was not a thing. It wasn't nothing for us.
Now we still went in each other's house though.
Yeah, it wasn't nothing.
Because my house was
still going in.
Yeah.
Right.
And so, we talked about the sleepovers and birthday parties.
Yeah.
I got pictures from every birthday party that I had with 20 people, all their little brothers at my party. We had Pizza Hut in Fairfield or McDonald's on 3rd. McDonald's at 5 Points. I had a birthday party in the lobby.
West.
That used to be a thing. Birthday parties used to be happening at McDonald's.
Yeah.
And people don't.
But people don't realize 5 Points West was a real shopping center.
Yeah.
Like, Parisians was out there.
With a base, with an elevator going downstairs.
Yeah. Had the tree that
Where
tells
was
stories.
that at? Like what?
That's
Store
what I was
is
just
it
about to
now?
say. What's that? Because I want to go downstairs.
Right.
Yeah.
I know
I
it's
don't
down
know.
there. So where it's at?
Let me see.
What was down there? It was
The men's department was downstairs, wasn't it?
the men was on one side, the ladies was on the other side, and I think it was housing
downstairs.
Downstairs.
You went down the escalator downstairs.
But what store occupies that space
Now,
now?
because we want to go in there now and be like, hey, where's the downstairs? Is it City
on?
Gear? Maybe
Foot Locker.
right in the middle.
It was right in the middle because you walked in and then you could go left or right.
I want to say City Gear. We gonna go in there and see.
Had that tree.
Hey, let me
where
see
you can pick up
downstairs.
tell the phone the tree told stories.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like back when I grew up again in the country, like there would be summers where me and my cousins would go to my grandparents' house all summer.
Yeah.
Like all summer long.
Yeah.
We was there.
Look,
Like we played outside all day long.
let me show you something. Let me tell y'all something. Summertime all day long outside. We still did that in our neighborhood. So you went to the country to your grandma's house. My grandma, I would run away. If I'm running away, I'm running away, and I may go to my grandma's house.
How far your grandma stayed from you?
We lived in Bellevue Heights. She lived in Inslee Highlands.
Okay.
So I could go from I could go across, you know what Oakland Cemetery is. I would have to, if I'm really gonna run away, which I probably was scared to run that far away.
Right. We were scared to run away.
Right. We could have walked over there,
but
but nah, we didn't.
I
We
ain't
just
going
said
nowhere.
it. So, but I was just thinking, my daddy even remembers Jasmine Daniels' dog. The dog name was Petey. And
That-
Petey used to walk with us to school.
That's crazy. But that's the Black culture.
Right.
That's
The
what
Black
we're missing.
experience.
You know?
And you know what? A previous job I had before, another Black person was sitting there talking to me. They was like, "Do white people have cousins?" I was
Yes.
like, "I guess so." They was like, "Well, how come you don't ever hear them talking about them or talking about hanging out with their cousins?" And like,
That's definitely a
basically,
Black thing.
that's a Black thing. It's a different cultural experience growing up with your cousins being your first friends and stuff.
Right.
Like, I guess white people don't do that.
I
Or
won't
go
say.
or go to their grandma's house for summers and stuff. All of the cousins, like, I don't know.
I
And
think
I
we
asked
just
my
not
white friend. She was like, "Yes, stupid, we got cousins."
Right.
I was like, "Well, how come y'all don't hang out?"
we do. We just don't talk about it like the Blacks.
Like, oh, it must be whack.
Your cousins.
Cousins.
That's really a thing of Black. Like, we love some cousins. Folks
Yeah.
be loving their cousin more than they love their sister.
Yeah,
Cause I was on my cousin house, my auntie them,
my
and
auntie
Uncle
knew
so and so. That's Black.
auntie.
Ain't it?
Right. Camellia said they don't really spend time with family like we do. Yeah, I ain't never been white, so I really don't know. But I will say for
mean-
us, it was a big thing. That was a big part of who we are
It's
and,
our
and what we
culture.
do, right?
We get together and we cook and we eat good and,
And
we
laugh
laugh
loud.
right, and we dance and that type of thing. I, you know what? Naming off what we do together, I see why they don't.
Oh, because all those things take what?
A little flavor.
Gotcha.
They don't use loud.
Here comes the brand new flavor in your ear. Okay.
Boy, flip boy.
9948949. Your Black experience is how we're kicking off Black History Month right here on B949 WATV. When you talk about, you got something?
She said her husband white, so she know first.
Go. Let's go through her page and see some
Okay,
pictures.
let me go look.
Okay. Thank you for tuning in, sis, and for sharing how you are sharing. I love the perspective.
Right.
That is a part of Black history, though. The idea of we'll get into that later on in the month because it is Black Love Month, or it's Love Month as well. So on third Sunday, we'll definitely tie that DMR Black Love into the conversation. But I was about to go here. In situations where your Blackness is to be minimized, or when you got to tone it down or code switch. Y'all know we do a lot of that. We have to code switch, and we do it for each other too. You know, they got more than I got, so I got to do this and say this and wear this. I want to talk about that as soon as we take this call. Call you're in with Vital on B949 WATV. What's your comment?
Well, I'm not sure what you are talking about tonight, but I know that Big Roe Williams had dedicated his show to Reuben Studdard.
Uh-huh.
So there has been things saying that Reuben Studdard had not passed.
Let us do some research, okay? And you keep listening. We will tell you what we find.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I hadn't heard.
I wonder if she's getting Reuben confused with Rudy.
I did see something
Yeah,
about
Rudy
Uncle
died.
Rudy.
Uncle Rudy died, man. Uncle Rudy Braxton. So I wonder if she's getting Reuben confused with Rudy.
Yeah. Let's check that out because I hadn't heard. I
You
did,
know I'm listening.
and I don't know.
I'm about to take. I'm gonna take Roe off the air. I'm gonna take Roe.
Ask him who the show was dedicated to. So yeah, thank you for that comment though, or thank you for calling in to ask that question. That's something that I didn't know
Uncle
about.
Rudy, man.
Yeah. I see some people from Birmingham at the Grammys. Interesting. That's great. What else do I see? Just kind of scrolling and checking out a few things.
You know, Googling this, of course, our boy popped up in the Google search. Kevin Studdard. Big stud.
All right.
Yeah, Reuben Studdard is fine.
I think she's talking about Rudy.
So, okay. So, yeah. 9948949. Auntie said, I'm not sure what y'all talking. We talking about being Black.
Yeah, she started that thing off like that. For real.
I don't know what y'all are talking about, but what they said about Reuben, baby, I don't know.
We didn't say it, Reuben. We didn't say it, Reuben. I promise we did.
We just confirmed for Auntie that you are right.
Now,
we love you, Reuben.
Now, Auntie, we talking about being Black and what that experience is like. Now, I want you to call back and talk about that. Tell us about your experience in Blackness, where you live, and how that was.
And you know that's also a Black thing. Like to call somebody auntie. You don't know the lady, but auntie.
And then
That's a respect thing,
it
man.
is. It is. But then another Black thing is to really be emotional about death.
Yeah.
Man.
Like,
Yeah, we take it far.
like we do a whole lot.
Yeah.
Do we, Dave? We do more than most other people.
We so dramatic.
Yeah, but
We put on shows.
I'm not gonna say our love is different. We love hard though, and we miss Big Mama and
so bad.
Pat and Uncle Man and you know and Juju and Juby.
Shut
and,
up.
Right. And the drunk uncle that come in requesting
Yeah.
cracking
But
bread.
Tap and
David
smoking.
name, like his name and
I don't know
who else
nobody's
is it?
name.
Who
These
is
names.
Keisha.
Papa Smokey and Keisha. You know, little bumpy face Keisha on 63rd. You know,
Right.
stayed by the school. Brother named Slim Mike. You know.
they used to eat the pickles in the bag all the
Yeah,
time.
you know what I
like
mean?
what?
Yeah, her house smelled like roach.
Roaches.
You know, but she was cool though. You know.
I actually have an Uncle Bro. Like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
a Black culture.
Yeah.
Yeah,
On Crooklyn, they had
Sister. Yeah.
Basil.
Basil.
Yeah.
Baby sister.
On Crooklyn, they had mother sister.
Mother sister.
Remember, she sat in the window. She ain't like the mayor. Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mother sister's just
Not on
like,
Crooklyn. On Do the Right Thing. They had mother
Mhm.
sister.
And then Mother Sister's role is almost like Bonita Jenkins.
Yeah.
I
You
ain't
You ain't heard it from me.
mm-mm,
And then
mm-mm.
she was really married to the mayor in real life from Ossie Davis and his
Ruby D.
Ruby D. They were a real live couple.
You sure are. That's
I
Black
love
history.
Black people.
That's Black history.
I love Black folks.
994-8949 is the number. Call in with your thoughts, feelings about your Blackness, man. I'm really loving to be able to share this conversation publicly. So that leads me back to what I was just saying about how some situations may call for you to minimize your Blackness or tone down your Blackness and code switch a little bit. And I'm just wondering, is that something that really makes sense to you all? Like, is there ever a time that you doing too much? You just shouldn't be that Black. And Dave, kind of what you said about you, we do a lot. We
do.
jump in the casket. We want to stay at the cemetery for 2 hours after.
Yeah. But
know.
but here's the thing. You can't tell a person how to grieve. You know what I mean? When we love hard. You know,
We love for real.
we love for real, man. Like, and people always say it's gonna be all right. How you know?
Right, not yet.
It get better.
Maybe later.
It
But
it hurts.
still, Dave,
Yes, man.
when have you ever gone to a Caucasian service where they had the same energy and emotion that we had?
I cannot tell you one Caucasian service I've been to, so
Neither.
I don't know. I don't.
Like, okay. So if you've been to a Caucasian service, let us know. But then check this out. So I've gone to a few situations where there were white pastors speaking to rooms full of Black people. And there's always this conversation after the fact about like the appropriateness of what's said in those moments. Like here you are in a room full of African American people talking about how Black people do how we Black. I'm Blacking right now, and
I'm
you don't
Black,
know anything
y'all.
about
I'm
this
Black,
experience.
y'all. Yeah.
So some of the things that we do as a culture, they're cultural things that some of us get perturbed by because either, Dave mentioned earlier, man, Camille, you're going to have a seat in the village. She said they're super boring. Like they don't have reflections and say 2 minutes. And then somebody get up there and talk for 15.
Oh, Father God.
Oh, Father God.
Listen. Okay. She said nobody sings. They turn on a song on the radio. The eulogy is dry. Nobody cries. I really like her. Hey, message her, Black.
Let me talk to you. I'm gonna message you.
We're gonna look through your page and then we're gonna message you. But in those moments where culture is who we are and what we have, and when you listen, like if a white pastor is talking about Black culture, they minimize it and almost mock it. Just like I'm gonna give you guys a clip in the second half where Congresswoman, her name escapes me right now, but she was giving a speech on the floor of the House, I think. And a white broadcaster says that she was jumping around and whatever she was doing. And then somebody else came back and said all he had to do was say she was shucking and jiving. We would have gotten the point. So are there any situations where you've ever felt like that you needed to minimize your Blackness?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. when I worked in Walker County.
When keeping it real goes wrong.
Yeah, it
That
was
is
the
your man.
time when I walked up in there and I felt like I had to change who I was.
Like it was a guy.
If you want me to hire you, better not come in here like that, young lady.
Like, and I didn't feel like I needed to minimize it until I started feeling like I'm the token black person here. Everything that's black, they ask me, hey Candace.
But what's wrong with that if you are the black?
I was the black, but then it was this man that was sitting next to me dispatching, and he would just be staring at me. Like when I would speak with intelligence or say something, I could feel him and I could see him out of my peripheral just staring at me like,
I can't believe the black is saying that.
She actually speaks the English language.
So did you never say, hey, what's up?
I turned and said to him, yeah, I'm black and I speak like I got some sense and I'm educated.
What did he say?
He was like, I just love you.
And I think a lot of times, now I will be honest, a lot of times I do think it's an admiration. I do. Even when they may not like you or really understand the culture, in those type moments right there, you can feel when it's I'm really observing you and admiring you because wow. Let me touch your hair.
Look.
Do not touch my hair.
Do not touch my hair. Do not ask me.
Those are some cool kicks right there. Let me see your shoes. Stop that. But then you minimize it. We minimize it in those situations because you are treating me like a exhibit.
Like an exhibit, like a science project or like, no, don't ask me that. So I just got quiet I got quiet until they transferred me. Oh my goodness,
Black, I would have loved it. Mm-hmm. I have all of your black answers. You play into it. I'm not minimizing my blackness. What do you guys want to talk about that's blackity black today? I brought handouts today. I got handouts. I got worksheets.
Whoa.
We going black today, y'all.
Whoa, wait.
What?
Calm down.
What?
Blackity black. Is that what made you
went a little
bit too far? I'm black, y'all. And I'm black, y'all.
And I'm blackity black and black, y'all.
Okay.
Yeah. Taking the Bangers got a song called Black Folks, which I love.
It's so many. So look, we're gonna get a playlist going too for next Sunday because I think that y'all need to hear these black songs.
Yeah.
Comments. We just love being black. You all, the Ensley and Bellevue Heights crew was blessed. You all went to school together, visited each other's church, played together, and yes, Petey, Jasmine and Frederick's little dog walked you out of school. Absolutely. Camilla says, but she was also the oldest sister first. Oh, she's talking about her auntie. Her paternal grandma was Bay's sister, but her relatives in the country said Bay's sister. Right. Let's see what else we got. What other? They were super. Okay, let's go. I saw some more. We buried my first cousin last year, 46. His mom and sister were Caucasian. Our reaction and theirs were totally different.
The way that we react about death is how they react about death when it comes to their pets. They actually take bereavement time off work for their pets. And we be like,
like I love my dog so much.
Yeah, but I'm finna go to work too though. Damn. I'm not finna take 4 days off because my dog died.
My mama might.
I may take a day.
Man,
but even how I am with people and pets, it's the same.
I ain't stepping in though.
That just made me think about the auntie who dog popped out of that couch on Crooklyn.
Everything is about Crooklyn tonight. We should have a movie night and watch Crooklyn.
Man, the way them little girls were standing there looking at her when that dog popped out, I think Troy did something to that dog.
I gotta go.
Troy did do something to that dog.
I think Troy stuffed that dog in that sofa.
I don't really remember.
Because that dog did just crawl in that sofa and get folded up in there like that on his own.
Yeah. Do you remember having a fold up bed that you slept on over your auntie and grandma's house?
Yes.
We had that.
Pallets everywhere.
Man.
You might have had 20 cousins in one room.
About 3. So yeah, and 3 of them may sleep in the bed with grandma on the fold out,
head to foot,
everybody
head to
else on
head, foot to foot.
Come on. Yeah. We got to have sleepovers again. One time for LP, like Paul, he said, "This is a dope conversation." Thank you, LP. This may be a space for you too. Man, y'all.
Hey.
Camellia is still talking about this service. She said the pastor prays like he doesn't really know Jesus. Oh my goodness!
In the free pardon.
Yeah, we gotta. I'm gonna send her friend request. Yes, send her friend request. Here. We have to bring you on.
Much of our Black culture comes from the motherland. I have experienced being Black in America through my learning from my parents and grandparents. My grandparents had little education, but were progressively creative entrepreneurs in Ansley at Tuxedo Junction. I love my Blackness.
I love that. That is so dope.
Yeah, just knowing we must teach our children about old-fashioned blackness. LP, many times our white brothers and sisters appreciate when we operate as our authentic selves. He said our white brothers and sisters. So there's a difference in who would appreciate it. Sis comes back and says they love our culture, but put on like they don't around each other.
You know, and that made me think. I don't know if any of y'all have watched it, but You People on Netflix.
I
loved You People, but it was.
I got excited.
I ain't been able to watch it.
You have to watch it because
sit down and
Lauren London comes
dope.
from a Muslim family, and she ends up getting
married with Jonah. What's his name?
But he's
Jewish.
He's Jewish,
but he's a dope Jewish person.
He's a dope Jew. Is what you
no, Jewish person.
So look, let me tell y'all something too. While I have your attention about that piece, about the Jewish piece, and really understanding, just structure and culture. A friend of mine and I have been working on the show for a few weeks to really educate us on that. Like a lot of people get upset when they compare the two conversations, the Jewish conversation
and that
the
happened in You
conversation.
People.
Okay, so we're gonna do that here on Vital, and
because we're vital.
Yeah, you will get that firsthand from people that identify as Black Jews, from families that understand the Jewish culture and why and how. We're gonna have that conversation very soon, right here on the airwaves.
So look, I love Black folk. Black look like a revolution. Look like a family reunion in the park. Black look like it's a different world. Sound like a crawfish boil in New Orleans. Black folk joke around like Martin and got paintings like JJ in the living room. It sounds strong, look like a sacrifice. It be flowers blooming in the summertime. Black sound like old songs, smell like good food, and it tastes like heart disease. But it feel like maize at Jazz Fest. Black sound like something that hurt, like a hard test. Black sound like skin, like something dark. It look like hair. Yeah, black sound like rough hair and good hair. Look like history, sound spiritual. Black sound like years, like working like night. Black sound like money, look like Walmart, like corner stores, like cash register singing. Black sound like 400 years, smell like Oprah, impactful like Martin. Look like Cicely Tyson, sing like Nina, got ass like Serena. Feel like broken homes in Section 8. Black smell like crack and collard greens. Sound motivational. Feels like church. Looks like big Sunday hats and ribbons. That's part of Black Folks by Taking the Bangers. Y'all, please listen to that. We can make that playlist.
Okay. Rossi says, quote the song, and Ken J.O. can't wait. So yeah, culture is who we are, what we do. There are some very, very optimistic parts, even to the pessimistic story and the thoughts that a lot of us have about being Black and the struggles. I can't say that I've ever gotten up in the morning and said, dang, I don't want to be Black today. I just don't know that I've ever said that. No matter what was going on in the world.
I don't want to go to work, but I ain't all the time. I don't want to be Black.
I ain't gonna say it. I ain't gonna say it. So yeah, the phone lines are still open 994-8949 so that you can talk about your experience of being Black, your Blackness, and what that means to you in a world where now,
man,
what is it now compared to what we're talking about?
It's t-shirts in Target. It's whole sections in Target. Yeah. It's sections in Five Below now.
Yeah, it is. I got all them shirts too.
It's like when we were growing up, there weren't sections of Black history themed stuff.
Okay. Target is a trendsetter in that though, man. To be a big box store, they like
Walmart doing it now too.
Really? Yeah. I saw a bunch of Wranglers in Walmart.
Now you see rainbows everywhere now.
I said Wrangler.
Oh, Wrangler.
In Walmart. Yeah.
I haven't seen that section in Walmart, but for Target, I will say that not only is it a section, but the section and the items are designed by African American designers, people of color that are actually where it's not just so monetized. It's not just, Black. We gonna buy what we like. We I think culturally become collectors of things that help us speak a culture, help us find our peace. I'm gonna buy all the shirts. I'm gonna get all the albums. I'm gonna rock all the J's. I'm gonna get all the kicks. I got this collection. I'm gonna get all the what else we like, Dave? All the members only. Like we are. That's
members only.
Come
on, man.
And but it wouldn't even be at Farragut. Like what the alligator thing?
Lacoste.
Yeah, I love Lacoste.
And that's a Black. Nobody knew until we really started researching what we were wearing. Like when Tommy started acting crazy and people pulled it up.
Girl,
that came from a Black tennis line. Like
it was Izod.
We're gonna wear that now.
They changed it to Lacoste. Before you start saying,
I remember Izod.
We used to buy
TJ Maxx.
We used to, but Izod was the alligator. We used to have that before it was La Costa. We used to buy Izod from Zare.
Like even not even down like to like big box stores. Think about the commercials you hear now.
Yeah.
That hot sauce, I put that on everything.
Yeah.
Like that type of flavor and stuff on.
It wouldn't have
like
been.
it wasn't like that before. So
Yeah.
now are they trying to? I don't know. At some point, I kind of almost feel like, should I feel offended or
The
what y'all
craziest,
doing?
the dopest line you just said in that Lizzo jump was you said it feels like
Taking the
heart.
bangles.
I mean, like
Mhm.
I'm thinking about Lizzo.
Yeah.
Taking
But
the
then they
bangles,
always compare Lizzo to Tank. I mean, yeah.
yeah.
Thinking of ankles.
It feels
Feel like
like
heart disease.
but it's smooth like listening to Frankie Beverly.
It made, yeah.
That's
It's
black
true.
people.
Yeah.
I don't care. Frankie don't have to make another song.
Ever.
We are one.
If he comes to Legion Field right now and play "We Are One" and Back and Stride again,
I'm
that's
finna go right now.
I've seen him 7 times.
Yeah.
The OJs, the
Family reunion.
even black music.
Yeah.
So June is Black Music Month by design, but we know that the black music is the soundtrack to not only our stories but so many people's stories. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, you're in with Vital. What's your comment?
Well, hello to all of you. I've enjoyed your conversation.
Why, thank you.
I just wanted to say this. When you just talked about black music, and I recall Donny Hathaway and
Yes.
the great song that he did, one that I really like, and I think you played it last week. I can't even think of the name of the song now. My goodness. But anyway,
So which one? Let's see.
To be young, gifted, and black.
no, not that one. Not that one. Hold on. Hang
Oh
on
my
to the word.
God.
Oh,
Whoa.
take
Yeah.
huh?
You played that song
Someday
for
we'll
me
all
in
be
college.
Someday we'll all be
Take
free.
it
Yeah.
from me.
Thank you,
someday
wife.
We'll
Yeah.
all be free.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Hang on
that's
to the
it.
world
But
as it spins
another
around.
thing I wanted to say about black music, I experienced in my neighborhood Paul Williams, Eddie Kendricks.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all know those names
The
or not.
Temptations, man.
Absolutely.
That's right. Before they became the Primes, they would
Yeah.
sing under the street lights on the corner by my house. I was a little boy,
That's real history, man.
but I remember them. I remember their families, and I used to throw Eddie Kendrick's mother's newspaper. And Paul Williams was in the youth choir at my home church. My mother was the youth director at the time, well, of the choir. And Paul Williams was in the choir. He had a little ukulele he used to play. I'm just giving you a little bit of history
That's dope, though.
as far as
That's
as
great.
far as the music is concerned. But I did have a chance to meet Donny Hathaway in person on stage. It was a great experience of mine, and I just wanted to share that with you all. And keep doing what you're doing. Share your blackness as you go, and don't suppress it at all.
Thank you so much for
God,
that call.
God bless you all.
Yay.
Well, do you remember playing this
Get
when
you
we was in freshman
down.
year and it was raining?
Were y'all crying or
We
something?
was crying.
I'm sure. I used to make them
That's
cry
a
so
man.
much.
Oh my! I was 18.
I
And
keep Donny Hathaway in the
Yeah.
rotation. The closest person to Donny Hathaway nowadays is Frank McComb. He sounds exactly like Donny.
Or his daughter Layla. They sound that's
Listen-
odd.
Listen to Frank McComb. Now her version of this is crazy.
So this right here is the song that I did play, y'all. So if you want to pull it up, it's very relevant to what we talked about today.
Yeah.
What we're talking about. Someday we'll all be free. And a lot of people say that freedom is a mind state. So maybe we are already free. If you think free, you are free. So that's a little bit of that. I'll play about 2 more seconds. Then y'all got to pull it up on your own. Here you go.
Things are working.
Brighter days. Hey, y'all sing it. Take it from me someday. We'll all
be free.
Okay, now. All right, so yeah, there you
Don't
go.
make me cry.
Don't, please don't. That's not why I ever played it for you. What was the reason that I just wanted to? What was that?
She
We
crying,
were
Woo.
we was reminiscing, going through like some
Some
stupid
breakups or
teenage
something?
breakup mess.
And y'all
and it
played
was
Donny
raining,
Hathaway?
and we were in Auburn. I remember.
Oh my goodness. So then I played it at somewhere else. We weren't
Right,
even in
so we weren't
Montgomery.
we weren't even in our dorm room. We was in somebody else.
Oh my. Too much.
we
Get,
were so
get
crazy.
the book.
Right.
Okay, so yeah, those are the moments. Those are the moments. Let's see what else we got. Kim says, when I was a baby till about, she didn't put the other age, so she was probably gonna say 6. I would be at all the controller studio sessions in Fairfield.
Come on, man.
Let
The
me find-
controllers.
Okay, hold on. She would be at their studio sessions, right?
You better play my favorite. You better play my favorite controller song, or you finna hit it.
Okay, well, let's see if I got your favorite, child, because I don't know. Which one is your favorite?
I did a gig with the keyboard player from the controllers. He used to play for a church over in Avondale.
Hmm.
But I don't say a gig. But I played with him.
Let's see. May it have been this one, Dave?
Yes, sir.
You know what? And it's only black people that break out and dance together without practice.
And our hands do this at the same time.
You don't see white people.
All right,
do
needs a
that.
fried fish sandwich because in the card
I
game.
don't like that, but I'll take some hard fried wings.
I don't even eat fish, but you need it in the card game.
Whatever it is, fried heart.
Fried heart. Yes,
Hey,
sir.
let's let her right there.
Oh. Go.
I need a bass.
Go. That's a synthesizer, believe it or not. That's a
Listen to that,
keyboard.
Dave.
Right.
I want a bass though. Can I get a tambourine?
You
That's
can.
real black.
That is.
Mm-mm. Whoa.
You know, my auntie used to play the tambourine like nobody else that
Your
I ever
auntie?
known. My auntie.
Yo, ain't it?
Well, actually, and that face, just black people.
Oh, this is a party right here. Come on. My darling, sweet baby. You know you.
Drive me crazy. Go Dave. Go Dave. Oh, somebody is moving and grooving right now.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Hold on,
Kim,
hold
for
on,
that.
hold
Oh, we go back.
Found you. You're so fine.
Baby, won't you stay? Okay, now. Y'all, that's what it is right now. This is an experience. So when you think about our culture, who we are, what we give, how much love we have, what music does, the stories that we have. I can't say that of course, human beings have human experiences. We're all spirits having human experiences. So everybody has what they have. But what we have,
that's something different.
It is different. You would say it's golden, but it's black.
Yeah.
Let's see some more moments. Camellia says Eddie Kendricks bought his parents a house on Bush Boulevard, and I grew up 2 streets over. She is absolutely right. And I tagged his niece, so I hope Asia's watching. Love Pastor Larry sharing some of his Ainsley experience. I'm going to sing in church, so that we inspire him to sing it at the church.
Look, let me know what Cindy. I'm gonna pull up.
Okay, pull up. Kim just smiling. So thank you for that moment. If you all have a moment that you can think of, or a soundtrack to your blackness, like what song is that, or some of the most happy times about being black, like what songs do you play? Do you go play gospel? Do you play Going Up Yonder? Do you play the Clark Sisters? Like, what do you play? Do you go back and play swing music or jazz? Do you go to blues? What you do?
I think black people, like, we dance through life. Everything about us is rhythm. And I mean, whether it's gospel or whether it's R&B or whether, whatever it is, I think it's all rooted in music. I remember growing up in church and this little girl asking, "Hey, who is Charles?" I was like, "What?" Mom was like, "What?" And I was like, "Mama, she mean that song, Hey Charles."
Oh, well.
Like a charge. But like, you grow up in church singing, like
a charge to keep I have.
Like, she asked who Charles was.
Okay, baby. So you were paying attention.
Right. I was like,
glorify.
You put on music and black babies automatically just be moving.
Yeah. Oh,
like, and they feel it.
Got a comment right here from the homie D. D says, me as a black man being raised from the projects of Avondale, Kingston, and Gate City, all I knew was black, and we all was family in the projects. But when I got to Eastlake and Roebuck was when I started seeing whites. I never really looked at race as color. Maybe because I wasn't raised during the time that the history of bad experiences, but I have a 90-year-old great grandmother and a 76-year-old grandmother that's still alive today to tell their story, and to know is to know. But when we all see, we are created. I like that thought, like just thinking about when we were together and how that looked and what that felt like, as opposed to when we started moving on up. You move up, and it almost makes you ask, should we really aspire to move up? Is the American dream really a dream for us or not? Or should we have our own dreams? And should it not always be about moving up and moving away and losing our spice?
I feel like we should be able to still move up, but not
Okay.
necessarily to their communities, but we can move up to our own better communities. Like Winewood is a very nice community with very nice houses.
But that's where folk moved up to. Everybody I know that moved from
Yeah, it's
Inslee
all-
moved to Winewood.
it's all black now. I mean, just because you move up doesn't necessarily mean that you move to black neighborhoods. I don't want that misconception.
Okay, cool. I get that. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So Dave got the word for Auntie, just letting her know that no Rose show was not dedicated to Ruben Stutter. It was dedicated to Rudy
Braxton.
Braxton. Who's Rudy Braxton?
Uncle Rudy, man. He was the music scene called him Uncle Rudy, man. He was like your number one supporter. He was saying Sparkle by Cameo, or
Light Skin.
Never Too Much. Yeah, Never Too Much by Luther.
And used to be Dan. I have to show
He
you.
was
the
super cool, man. Uncle Rudy was super cool, man. And he got sick a month or so back and didn't turn around and passed last night. And the music community is hurt, man.
So yeah, prayers to Uncle Rudy.
Rudy Braxton.
Not Ruben. Rudy. And we can all, share so that you all can see, put a face with the name if you don't know who Uncle Rudy is. To the topic, Kimberly Meadows Clark says, melanin is worth more than gold. Despite all of that, the price of melanin has increased to more than $445 per gram in recent years. At such rate, the value of melanin per gram is $395 higher than the value of gold. So when you think about that, and the value, when you start teaching your children about who they are and what they're worth, if you got to put it in terms for them to understand, maybe that's the way to do it.
Right.
Like, look, baby, look, a gram. You know how to measure a gram, because like a gram of weed, a gram of you equals this. So how many grams do you think make up you?
Now multiply that by $395.
Jasmine had 5 apples.
Jalen broke.
If Jasmine had, like, oh my God,
I still don't get
I
it.
don't know.
Look, and I'm that kind of teacher too. I said, ma'am, I still don't get it.
I don't know. I don't care how much you ball up your mouth.
That's a black thing, right?
It is. Don't touch
Candace had 7 pieces of candy. Dave took 4. How many did Dana get?
6.
Oh, what did Dana come in here? You didn't say
Candace had.
Oh my God.
That's definitely a black thing. Grit your teeth and look at somebody. I ain't never seen nobody. Ain't no white lady ever gritted her teeth at me and I feel any kind of fear.
Ever. I don't even think they do that. Because I
Ma'am.
saw, like I said, I saw a white lady with her baby in the store, not the store, daycare the other week. And her child was barking at her.
Like what? Okay.
And like she was like, "Don't make me spank you in here." I was like, "Girl,
please spank him. That's what we want you to do."
I'm me and Kyra both sitting there staring like, "Please jump on him, please."
Look, we're just talking about the blackness, y'all.
Yeah.
So here's another comment from our sister. This is our sister right here.
It's our cousin.
It's
It's our cousin.
That's
is
another
my
black
cousin.
thing.
That's
That's
our
it's
cousin.
everybody. That's my cousin.
I need to make a post again this year and tell all my cousins to pull up.
Right.
Listen to this one. Growing up black was all music. We were so versatile that we listened to R&B, jazz, the blues, gospel, hip hop, and older rock and roll.
Yep.
But the stuff that I love was Betty Wright, the Commodores,
You should listen
Mays.
to Betty Wright.
She said it. Anita Baker, Luther,
Yes,
Patty,
yes,
Whitney, New
yes.
Edition, Big Daddy Kane, Salt and
Yes.
Pepper, all the Jacksons,
Yes.
All of
and DeBarge.
Yeah.
All
Oh,
that.
yes.
Plus,
Even
Bob
Reba.
Marley and Bill Withers. She is, look, Kim said, come on, Smith.
Come on.
Come on
The
here,
Wailers.
cousin.
She said to Bob Marley and Bill
Shoot,
Withers.
cousin then came in here and said that. Then we had another era of music that totally it just engulfed our blackness, neo soul.
Man.
Yeah.
So that era combined the old soul with the new soul,
Yeah.
and gave us a whole identity. Just a
It was
moment of
something
what
for our generation to.
Dave had his beard trying to have some locks in it. Dave was wearing a dashiki and walking
Come on,
around with
man.
an incense hanging out his mouth around that
Look,
time. We were
yeah.
smoking beaties.
Oh,
trying
the
to wear
Sherbeaties.
Beanies
Wait
with
a
the red
minute.
string wrapped
With the
around.
string.
What is
Yeah.
this? We were wearing every girl you knew tried to have a little afro.
Bamboo
and
earrings.
At least 2 pair.
Yeah.
I mean,
A offended bag and a bad attitude.
Oh, come on. We were so
Look.
black. There was an
I
era.
showed you. Remember that I had the incense hanging out my
I
mouth and
don't,
sticking
but
out
it
my
just
hair,
seemed
bro.
like something you was
I
done.
did
Yeah.
though. I used to
Yeah.
have the incense hanging out my
I know
mouth.
you.
Look,
It's
we know your
connection.
type.
Yeah, we
We
know
know
your
you.
type.
Hey, y'all my cousins.
We went to
cousins.
state together.
Yeah.
And we
Y'all
weren't
my-
even at the same time.
Right,
my
but we
cousins.
did.
Ooh,
I got cousins that I didn't even know they were not my real cousins until
until we
I was
knew
in
they
high
won.
school.
Right.
Because I've
Yeah.
been calling their mom aunts and dad uncles and
Yeah.
spend night at my house.
I call Woo parents mama and daddy. Like her cousins, they my cousins.
That's just how we do.
They my cousins.
My brother cousins is my cousins, and we don't even have the same whatever, but we got the same dad.
Right.
And they
Blood
cousins,
could
they
not
my
make
My
us
cousins.
any
brother is my
thicker.
brother.
Yeah.
I mean, blood could not make us any closer, man. Because we were
Right.
just.
It's my cousin.
I called a lady who's not my aunt, but I've been knowing her all my life as my aunt. I called her by her first name one time. She said, put a handle on that. If I've been
Ooh.
aunt for 20, 30 years.
Even though we did, but I'm real old too.
Don't get to
so now-
smelling
Oh,
yourself.
you gotta call them cousin.
And when she
Good-
said it,
good feet.
when she said it,
Good
my mama
name.
looked like this. My mama was like,
She said what she said,
Yeah.
boy.
Right.
I said, oh yeah, I'm sorry, auntie. You know, 'cause I've been calling you aunt. You've been my aunt since I've
But then I
known
found
you.
out that you weren't, so I'm just like,
And I said, hey, you. And she said, wait, oh, you.
Oh, you acting brand new. She should have whooped you.
I was, but look, you
Scared.
had some children who I was grown from the beginning. I
Yeah.
don't think they ever found any disrespect in when I would be calling my parents' friends by their whole name, like their whole name.
I know.
Like what? I could say his name on there. I'd be like Robert Tellis called and said it's not your daddy. His whole name. I had to say it.
You ain't put Mister in front of it?
Because I just said your whole name. What I need to say, Mr. Fun, I just said your. That's the
That's
ultimate respect.
yeah, okay.
So like it was him.
But when he came in the house, you ain't called him Robert Taylor though.
probably.
She probably did. She been crazy so long.
I almost said something
Don't do
that
that.
would have been so black of me. I was about to play the dozens with you.
So-
Right, you
black,
better call
y'all.
her.
I
You
was
better
about
say
to play
my
the
mama.
dozens. I sure was.
Yeah, that's
black.
black.
That's blacker than black.
Like, and I can love
Uh,
your mama, but
My
your
grandma
mama.
just texted me, you knew Luther Vandross when you were a baby. We saw him in the mall in Atlanta. I said, there go Luther Vandross.
Vandross.
Luther.
Vandross.
Play. I know this. Couldn't Dave.
Yeah, come on
Oh,
with it.
y'all, Smith back with it. She back with it. This part two. Smith said growing up black was also catching a popsicle truck in the summer.
Come on.
Playing kickball,
Come
softball,
on.
baseball, basketball, double dutch, jump rope, swimming, dancing, singing, and just walking to each other's house to hang out. Me, my sister, and our friends in our neighborhood practice Michael Jackson and Janet
Yes,
Jackson
you
video
did.
choreography
Yes, you did.
like we want to.
Me and
Yeah.
my homeboy Ray Ray had Heavy D. You got your own
Man.
thing. We had that down to a sign.
Look, I was in the front yard with Diaz, them learning how to twirl a baton so I can march like the black, like ain't nothing like a black marching band. I was in the
Look.
front of the yard listening to J.O. practice. I remember standing in the front yard learning how to do the snake.
Well, we did.
Come
That
on.
was safe fun.
You know what? Well, you know what else black?
Child, I'm so black, I'm sleepy.
Wearing
Look.
jellies.
Oh my goodness.
Jellies.
When you take it off, the dirt
your
be on your
foot.
foot. What?
Look, play in church. You play shout.
Come on now.
Yes. Yes, who the preacher?
Come on.
Like you go get the sheet and the
Man,
fan.
come on,
and
man.
you fan them
I'm
when
so
they
black.
fall out.
I'm
When
just
your
too
mom and
black right
dad
now.
go somewhere and say, "Now look, we leaving. Nobody better not come in this house
Okay,
till I
and then
get
you be
back.
like, y'all come on.
Come sit on my porch. 'cause
Now
I
you gotta
can't
be
go
gone
nowhere.
by.
Yeah.
Man, get out of here. Let
Yeah.
me tell y'all something.
Going to the vegetable garden.
Look, Kim said, Camille, you my cousin too. We all cousins.
All
If you
us
vital,
cousins.
we cousin.
We're gonna have a cousin cookout this summer.
I feel we should.
That's
Return
right.
of Mayday.
Yeah.
All right. Cause we black.
That's major.
And we
cuz.
played kickball stuff the last
Yes, we
May
did.
Day.
Because remember,
We
T.
should do
Carson was
that.
so upset because he was the last to get picked, and he was trying to figure out why, baby. Because you the little
Because
kid.
you live.
Boy, you had play clothes.
You the little kids. Play clothes.
You outside with a dress shirt on, some swimming trunks, one flip flop, and a dress
Black.
shoe.
Look, playing kickball and flip flops. Like, what is you doing?
No, well, just take them off and foot
And
racing
be-
with
yeah,
no shoes on in the
barefoot.
middle of the street.
Yeah.
you
That's
run
black.
faster when
If you had a
barefoot.
brick and a stick, you had a ramp. Jump your bike.
A brick and a stick.
A brick and a stick. Jump your bike, man.
Man, if you're real black, I want you to just get in the comments and just chat real together. Y'all can share numbers because I think we made family tonight just
Yeah.
going back. So if you found a cousin or an auntie or
Cousin.
uncle, put it in the chat.
Look at
Amelia,
Cuzzo. Look at Cuzzo.
Right. I remember one a Jerry curl. So, but I remember I had a Jerry curl and went to PE at Charles A. Brown. It may have been a texturizer, whatever it was. It brought the gnats to me.
Girl.
Do you remember that?
Yes.
Hey, you ever had a Jerry curl or a Wave Nouveau?
Nah,
My-
my mama the one
Look at
playing
his hair
that.
now.
Nah, I
You know
got
how you
Indian in my
know-
family.
right.
Well, get out. But
My grandma
listen.
drove a Cherokee.
But listen, man, I remember that at PE. Nicole Fisher, are you listening? I was at PE and I had my Wave Nouveau was new, and it brought the net, like it made the flies come around. I don't know if it was an
It was
activator
the
or
juice.
what.
He was the follow.
Yo, wait. Did you
He
have
was following the drip.
did you have a brush with the activator in the other end? The little did you have that? You had that black?
I don't remember.
My
Like,
cousin had a Jerry curl.
I
It
remember
is.
you put it on rides, or you put I don't know what.
Or it
Hey,
might- I don't
It's
know.
nothing more black in Birmingham than going downstairs in the basement at Slater's to find your clothes.
Now, okay, Dave, how old you is?
Right. What's
I'd be
Ladles?
49, I'd be 50 January 6th.
2024.
So get ready for the Top Flight Freaknik, Fly Days 50 Top Flight Freaknik party. It's going
Okay,
down.
a whole year you got an early invite.
To
Now-
get y'all shorts together.
Let's say we got 5 minutes. The fast five. Thinking about being black and what that is, what that looks like. Remember, I was talking. Kim said he old. LOL.
I am, man.
He your big cousin.
I made a post about naming the schools in the neighborhoods that we no longer like. Some black was like, I don't even know. I have never even heard of that. Where was that? I
Mhm.
named Ullman, Westfield, Council.
We forgot.
Scott.
Well, I said we forgot Scott earlier.
You had Wilkerson.
Old Scott.
Wilkerson still open.
You said closed.
Yeah, like all the many schools. that-
Putnam.
Daniel Payne.
Was this Putnam open?
Yeah, Putnam still open. Over there in what's that? Stop. All of that stuff that's closed. Let me go find a list. There's a long list of schools, and everybody was like, "Yeah," because I remember that. And I went to Baker,
Hayes
Lee.
High.
Yeah, so some of them have been
Phillips
repurposed,
High.
right? As
Yeah.
middle schools,
like
but-
Daniel
or
Payne
elementary
is the
schools.
is the
I think the AME church building.
Oh, man.
it's a school.
Oh, it's a
It's
charter
that,
school.
that charter school.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fairview Elementary. I put Fairview was on the list. Let me see if I can find it.
Glenn.
After Glenn, back Glenn.
That's my mom went to Glenn. My mom and uncle went to Glenn. Let's see what else. What other schools? Hold on, because I want to find it. It was a list, and people started adding schools. I'm like, I didn't even remember that.
A lot of older people went to
Martha
Ullman too.
Gaskins.
Yeah.
They went to
Ullman
Ullman.
and Westfield. I think that's still open.
That
That's
it might
still
be,
open,
but
yeah.
that's something new to me.
Hold on.
Brighton
Here
High.
we are.
Brighton
Uh,
High.
That was a high school.
Yeah,
Brighton had a high
really?
school.
They had to have
yeah.
school. So Council, Ullman, Westfield, Lee, Lewis, Fairview. Over on the east side, they had one that's closed to Going.
Yeah,
Banks,
going. Yep.
Daniel Payne. Some people added Powell, Lincoln, Hill, Watley, Illaton, Jackson,
Yeah.
Spalding, MacArthur, Eureka.
Yeah.
Golly,
She just-
Gibson,
Gibson, that was the one I was
Kirby.
thinking about right there by
Curry, yep. Dudley. I ain't never even heard of
I heard of
Dudley.
Dudley. Yeah. Callaway.
Right.
Is Callaway on
Callaway was a school.
there? Yeah. It was they used to have black and white band uniform.
Wow. So think about how we have lost those different. Oh, I never knew anyone that went to AG Gaston Business School and found out my mom and Chris auntie went the other night. She said it was pivotal for her career and landing some great jobs.
Bro.
So going to this school.
That was a college in Daniel Payne. Daniel Payne College was
Yep.
in right there off Daniel Payne. My uncle graduated from there.
Here another one. Here a few more. Kirby, Shields. Elementary.
Shields,
Like,
yep.
What?
Yep, Shields. Yep.
We got time for one more call. One more call. Caller, you in with Vita. We just reminiscing and being black. What you got?
Yes, and I just love it. And Kim, will know some of this experience. Kimberly Meadows Clark
Mhm.
will know some of this about Miles College and being blessed enough to hear the band and
Oh
go
yeah.
out on the
Man.
campus
Mhm.
and just enjoy Miles College Band. And at that time, when I was growing up, Showboat was one of
Yeah.
the drum majors.
Whoa.
And yes, it was Showboat Fly Days. And it was just a wonderful thing. Fairfield has a love for Miles College. Fairfield is Miles College. Miles College is Fairfield. And we would have M Day,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
people from all over the city, they would leave Glenn High School, Parker High School, the different high schools to get out to Miles College for M Day and just have a good time, just clean, good fun.
So that's what it's all about. Clean, good fun, culture, heritage, blackness is what we've discussed tonight. We've made a lot of people feel good. We feel good about having this conversation
Yeah.
and going back to a time when being black was the thing to be. And hey, don't get it twisted. It still is. We got to restore the pride, restore the courage, the energy, the resilience. And on next Sunday, we'll get more into the topic of the resistance, black resistance, which brings us further into today's time and issues and concerns. We got to talk about that too. A shout out to all of you who tuned in, that commented, that got the message and shared the live as well. Go back and watch it, share it.
Yeah.
This
Share
one
it
is
with
for
your
the
folks.
archives. Be sure to come back next Sunday at 7. What you got, Black?
I'm glad that we started out like this
Mhm.
because people like to try and make it sad and somber at first, and that ain't
Girl.
all that we are. Like, I'm sorry, I've just refused to do that.
Being black is not sad.
It's
All
not.
right. So we did
It's a
kind of
joy.
yeah, we came up from slavery to where we are now. We're gonna continue to rise. Y'all be sure to come back tomorrow at noon for Lady Woo's Midday Fun
A
Shui
fun sway.
with the free lunch flashback at noon. So flashing back every day with me gives you that blackness that you miss. So come back and get that tomorrow. Dave, good to have you back. We're about to catch up
Glad
a
to be
tad
back.
bit, and we're
Yeah.
gonna keep this thing rolling. If you want to be a part of the show, be sure to send us a message. Let's get in. Let's get you in the vital seat. It's a great place to be. Y'all enjoy your week. Be vital.
Bruh, why is this happening? Why she